In this three-part video series, we'll explore how participatory budgeting in families can help parents teach financial literacy to their children through three common family activities: planning a vacation, making charitable donations, and making some home improvements. You can do all of these activities for free in the First Root platform for participatory budgeting. Register for your account at www.firstroot.co. This video will focus on making some home improvements. Financial literacy is simply the ability to manage financial resources effectively for a lifetime of financial well-being. It's a great goal, isn't it? A lifetime of financial well-being? Man, that sounds appealing. The problem is that teaching financial literacy can be really hard for parents because while children observe our behavior, they may not yet understand the financial concepts and personal values that drive this behavior. For example, your children may not know why you spend money a certain way or why you're saving for the future. We need to share these things with our children so that they can understand all aspects of financial literacy. At its heart, financial literacy is a life skill based on three components: financial knowledge, which consists of an understanding of important financial concepts, such as interest rates and taxes or credit and credit reports and loans. Financial skills, which are the things we need to do to participate in an increasingly complex financial system. Some examples include researching the total cost of a product or a service, comparing and making investments, balancing a checkbook, or determining how much money we'll actually make in the jobs we take. The third component is financial dispositions and values, such as how we feel about taking a risk or whether or not we want our investments to align to our personal beliefs. These beliefs, such as caring for the environment or helping those who are less fortunate, influence all aspects of our financial decision-making and represent an important opportunity for parents to convey more than money to their children. That sounds like a lot of information to cover, but don't worry. Teaching financial literacy to children is easy when you involve them in concrete activities like planning home improvements through participatory budgeting. So what is this thing called participatory budgeting? At its heart, participatory budgeting in a family is a process in which the entire family meets and decides together how to spend a shared budget. To make sure everyone is included and to give parents opportunities to teach important aspects of financial literacy, the participatory budgeting process proceeds in 5 stages. The first stage is planning. This is the stage in which parents or guardians explain the process, determine the budget, outline any ground rules for the program, and determine who is involved. For example, it is unlikely that you'll include a baby in participatory budgeting, but you may want to include grandparents or other extended members of the family. The second stage is ideation. This is where family members get to create ideas that are relevant to the topic. For example, in planning a family vacation, you might want to think about the activities that you want to do while on vacation or the places you want to visit. In planning charitable donations, you might want to think about the specific charities that you'd like to support. And in thinking about a home improvement, you might want to explore what ideas you have to make your home better. Phase is refinement, where you take the initial proposals and you refine them. For example, you determine the actual total cost and whether your budget can afford it. You also start to understand whether or not the ideas can be completed in a time frame that is acceptable. The next phase is voting, where the family meets together and actually explores the proposals that are deemed best for the family and votes on which proposals they want to move forward with. The last stage is also the stage that's the most fun. It's implementation. It's where you get to take a vacation, you get to make charitable donations, and you get to improve your home. You get to see the results of all this shared work. Here are some important financial concepts that the entire family can explore when planning home improvements through participatory budgeting. The first in the planning stage is establishing the budget. Now, here you start to really think about the opportunity for taking a loan because you're talking about a longer term investment and you're talking about a longer term return. You might also be looking at the financial return where you take a loan to make a home improvement that actually increases the value of the home. This is a very different way of thinking about a loan because we may not want to take a loan for a family vacation, but we may want to take a loan to improve our home value. These are the kinds of concepts that you want to talk about with the entire family. You also want to talk about saving for the home improvement and why saving, while acceptable, may not happen at a rate fast enough that allows you to make the home improvement you want. You also want to understand the psychology of the kinds of home improvements you're making. Let's say, for example, that you're about to sell your home and you're going to make some home improvements to increase the sale price. These improvements tend to be motivated for financial reasons. Now, let's say that you buy a home and the new home that you walk into has what you want, but you want to change the paint. Well, you're planning to live in the home for a while, but you're going to make some home improvements, not for financial return, but for emotional return, for more livability, for a more enjoyable living space. You want to understand and discuss the kind of investment you're making and the kind of return that you're expecting. You also want to understand how long improvements will last. Not everything will last forever, and you're going to have a natural lifespan where changes that you make to your home will either need to be upgraded or replaced over time. You want to understand dependent expenses. Many times, home improvements will start and they'll discover an additional problem. Now, those additional problems become dependent expenses, and you want to make sure that your budget has a little bit of buffer to account for those unexpected or dependent expenses. You may want to consider ways in which the family can work to lower the overall costs. For example, work that you can do yourself instead of hiring a contractor to perform. In the long run, using participatory budgeting to plan home improvements is one of the best ways to bring the family together. We hope you have enjoyed learning how you can use participatory budgeting to teach financial literacy while planning home improvements. Remember to register for your free account at www.firstroot.co and watch our other videos on how you can use participatory budgeting to plan a family vacation or charitable donations.